A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Tuesday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, it's the first edition of the show for the week, and there's a lot to talk about. Let me give you a quick rundown of what to expect as we speak. A game currently going on in the UEFA Champions League. It is between, of course, Real Madrid fighting for their lives against Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium. And of course, we'll also on the show tonight. That's the situational report right there for you. Manchester City got 2 quick goals, but Real Madrid fought back. And of course, you know who scored. Karim Benzema scored for Real Madrid, and it's a proper fight currently going on at the Etihad. So we'll talk more about that as we move on the show. Today, we'll be talking about the issue of funding in sports. It's a major issue in Nigerian sports. We'll talk about that. And we'll also give you a slice of badminton. We have a special guest already seated in the studio, by the way. You will enjoy the conversation we're going to have around badminton. We'll move on to talk about the Nigeria Professional Football League. Look at matches to be played tomorrow as well in the UEFA Champions League. And we'll also come to tennis to talk about the news that a lot of tennis fans received with gladness. It appears world number one, Novak Djokovic, might be able to compete at Wimbledon because the organizers not requiring players to be vaccinated against COVID, not making it a requirement. And so it means that the door will be open for Novak Djokovic. We'll see if any development that will nullify that comes up. But as it stands, Novak Djokovic is eligible to compete at Wimbledon. All right, that's the outlook of the show today. And of course, before I introduce my partner, you know I'm not always alone on the show. I have Austin Okon-Akpan is always with me. And at any moment, he will be joining in. I talked about sports funding. Let's quickly go there before I introduce my guest on the show. What you're about to listen to will set the tone for the discussion we're going to have on the show tonight. I've listened to a lot of sports administrators, and they will tell you the bane of sports in Nigeria is that critical issue of funding. It affects everybody across board. We want to listen to a respected voice, Godwin Kienka, speaking about issues related to that and what can be done to ensure that there's top quality athlete performance and all the things that can develop sports. Let's listen to him, and we'll come back for more on Sports Tonight.
We're going to launch this endowment fund, and this fund will give 10 million to Olympic medalists, 7.5 to silver medalists, and 5 million to bronze medalists. For the Commonwealth Games, they are going to get 5 million for gold, 3 million for silver, and I think 1.5 for bronze. And then for the All Africa Games, it's 3 million for gold, 2 million for silver, and 1 million for bronze. So this, we hope, will attract our youth enormously to sports and bring private sector involvement in sports, attract the private sector to invest in sports. We look at it this way. If a boxing gym produces 5 gold medalists at the Olympics, say even 3, and produces another 5 in the Commonwealth Games, and maybe another 6, because I mean, if they're Olympians, then the competition is less going down. The boxing gym alone can make 100 million in a 4-year cycle.
All right, we're talking about an athlete performance funds. That's what Godwin Kienka is proposing, of course, laying the framework for how all of that will be done. All right, I told you we had a special guest in the studio. Let me quickly introduce, of course, it's not a stranger, a friend of the house, really. Of course, Francis Obi joins us now. He is the president of the Badminton Federation of Nigeria. Greetings to you. Thanks for finding time to be with us on the show tonight.
Thank you for having me, Yemi.
All right. Let's set the ball rolling. And maybe you could just speak up. And by the way, Austin Okonakman is ready and will join in the discussion. But to set the ball rolling, I want you to link with what we just listened to. How important is it to have incentives to make young, upcoming athletes get involved in the sports?
I think it's a very good development if that is going to be achievable. Because for anything that anyone does, once you have some form of incentive and encouragement, you want to do even more and better.
Yeah.
So that is just the natural thing. So I don't think it's a case of not knowing what to do. We've always known that to be the case, but why it has not always happened, or why it has not always been possible to have such funds, to be like a kind of incentive to athletes to be able to perform better and perform more for the country is what, one really wonders about. Because, for me, it's a good thing
right.
if it's feasible and if it's possible to achieve.
Okay. All right. Let me go to Austin. He's ready now. Austin, it's good to do this together as always. I know you have your eyes on what is currently going on at the Etihad. I'm struggling to pay attention as well. But we have a job to do here. And once again, thanks for doing this with me tonight.
Sport greetings to you, Yemi, and of course, all our viewers joining us from different parts of the world. I got carried away with the UEFA Champions League, Yemi. What a game. Manchester City and Real Madrid are giving us second half now. Still Manchester City to Real Madrid 1. But let's get into the conversation. It's good to see Francis Obi in the studio. So much has happened to badminton in the last couple of months, but good to know that peace has finally come to the Federation. Sport greetings, Francis. It'll be good to have you on Sports Tonight. Has peace finally returned to badminton in Nigeria?
Yes, I can say that for sure. That if not that peace had returned, then we won't have been able to make the kind of progress we made in the past few weeks. Having some of the issues that were in court withdrawn, and then immediately after that, we had the elections and the new board was inaugurated. So, relative peace, I must say.
New board, new team. Francis Obi, is this objective to consolidate on what you guys started 4 years ago?
Yes, definitely. I will tell you that if you look at the caliber of people we have on the new board right now, it gives one a lot of confidence that we'll be able to build on the achievements of the past 4 years. And that is definitely the focus we have, to look at how we can improve and do better than we did in the last 4 years. And I can tell you that we are really fired up.
Okay.
Last time I spoke to you before. Okay. I mean, you can take.
No. Let me just allow you chip in.
Okay. Yeah. Because I just wanted to jump on what Francis talked about. Last time I had you in the studio, the objective was to develop badminton in schools, take badminton to the grassroots, improve on our performance. What's the major objective for this next 4 years?
Well, what we did after the last tenure, we tried to look at our scorecard, and we saw the areas where we were able to achieve quite a few things. And then we also identified areas where we felt we could do a whole lot much more than we did. And that area you've mentioned now is the grassroots. We've been on this for quite a while. We've talked about it. But it was a program that we felt needed a lot of planning so that it won't be just something that will be temporary or it will not be sustainable. So we put in a lot into planning. And of course, before we could get off the ground, the COVID situation arose and that sort of slowed down everything. So now that we are back, like you rightly said, it's an area we want to go into grassroots development of the sport, and we are going to schools. So it's something that we are going to face very squarely, and we'll be hitting the ground running with it.
All right, let me just come in here. I've quite a few questions and pass the baton back to Austin. So from some of the pictures we have on screen, I can see people around some of the competitions hosted by your federation. But I want to ask, getting the grassroots is good, doing things for the grass, but the awareness. I've been able to see your plans for the year, your plans but in terms of awareness, how aware do you think people about the activities of the Badminton Federation?
I would say authoritatively that if you look at when we came in to where we are today, a lot of awareness has been created around the game. Because I must tell you, I get really very fascinated when I get to places and people, when they hear, oh, badminton, oh, yeah, we're hearing about the game lately. So, but it's not something that has an end. It's a continuous thing. And we placed premium on that. That's why the media publicity angle of it, we did not joke with it at all in the past 4 years. This time around, we want to take it a step further. So there are so many things. I can tell you, for example, we have one of the things on the pipeline. I'll share this experience that before the COVID, we were trying, this awareness thing was a major target for us, and we were trying to draw more people to the halls to come and see the game live. A lot of people have never watched a badminton game live. And while we were doing that, we were doing all sorts of things, introducing different things to try and attract people. Then all of a sudden, COVID came, and COVID came with its own angle of keep people away. We don't want the crowds. So we're a bit like, what do we do? I mean, we're trying to bring a game closer to people. And so what did we now? The next thing we've done now is, as we speak, we've developed a mobile app, which we are going to launch anytime from now. And that is going to take the game closer to people. So even if you can't come to the hall to watch, you can watch live streaming of matches. And that's going to happen to all our events across the country. So it's a step we are taking in that direction of creating more awareness, having people being able to have that badminton experience, especially when it's live.
Yeah, but the follow-up question for me would be, with some of the sports, especially sports that involve nets and courts in Nigeria, there's this temptation to see it as just leisure, not something that could be professionally run. A lot of, you could say, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, that 80% or 90% of the people who are involved just do it to keep fit. They see it as leisure. Does that pose a challenge to you?
No, definitely not. I'll tell you why. You have people who play the game at veteran level.
Yes.
And that's for fun, for keeping fit. But at the active level, I mean, we have our players who recently our players qualified and played at the Olympics, first time in 12 years. I mean, those people were definitely not doing it for leisure. They went there because they were playing serious badminton. So at the active level and the junior level, we are trying to just create more activity, have the players have a very busy calendar. Because if you train and you don't have competition to play, then you've wasted your time. So we are not, it's not a game for leisure. At the veteran level, for the elderly, yes, you go, you play for fun and just to socialize and to keep fit. But at the active level, it's serious business. And then now, for benefit, incentives, we're also looking in the direction of the possibility of having a league. So we'll have a badminton league and the players will play and they'll be able to also earn some income from it.
Okay, the challenges for interested people, things like your rackets, finding a suitable court to play, and all of those things. I'm very sure. I keep asking you that question. I don't know why. I think this is the second time I'm asking you that question. But how do you walk around that? You see people, okay, I listen to this man. I've seen this clip. I love this game. But how does he begin to get access to those things you could call the starter pack? If you want to start badminton, those things you need, the balls, the rackets, a good playing surface, which we have a few around, probably at the stadium.
Well, it's one of the areas the new board is looking at very seriously. That's why we have a legacy project, because I'll surprise you that in the whole of Nigeria, there's no single badminton facility. I'm sure you'll be wondering how. what we have across the country are multi-purpose halls.
Yes.
Where you play basketball, handball, and other sports. So when table tennis
So
is
attention
having...
is divided.
Yes, once table tennis is having an event, you can't train. So we want a situation where we have a dedicated badminton facility. And that is what we want to achieve in the next 4 years. We want to get that possible. Now, you have private member clubs, where like Ikoyi Club, Lagos Country Club, and other clubs where they have badminton halls. But, you know, it's not a public facility. Only members can go there. So a kid from the street can't just walk in to say, oh, I want to play badminton. So we are trying to see how we can make that happen. And then for facilities, and I mean for equipment, yes, we have, I mean, there are quite a lot of places where you can buy. And one of the things we would be focusing on is to make the equipment more available and also more affordable. Because if they are very expensive, not too many people will be able to buy them and, you know, put them to use. And then for the grassroots program, we are taking badminton to schools, and we are going to do that in a particular way by making equipment available. So we are going to distribute them. People don't need to buy these ones. Like the starter pack you are talking about, beginners, we take them to the children, and then the program is going to be very comprehensive. We are going to take games masters from selected schools, take them for courses, teach them the basics so that they will know what they will teach the children. That is the shuttle time. It's a program by the Badminton World Federation, and we want to now, I mean, it has been introduced here. We've already done a program called the Train the Trainers.
Okay.
So we have tutors all over who are going to be ready to go around to teach games masters across schools. So we've been preparing for this, and that is the next level of grassroots development for the game in Nigeria.
Okay.
Sounds good, Francis. We monitor that grassroots program because that's the hub for development. Let's talk about the elite guys now and the major competitions we will jump into. I see a lot of them, particularly international competitions. What plans does the board have to ensure that top players such as Dockers, Godwin Olofua, Noluwapo Okpeyori get to attend some of these major competitions?
Well, Austin, you are going to, you know, Yemi started this program with a talk about funding and incentive for athletes. That has been the bane of sports development in Nigeria, and it's still there. It's not going away. It's a major challenge, and we are going to have to live with it, deal with it, and look for a way to get around it. Our players, if they don't go out to play and get exposed to quality championships, their games can never improve. That is the truth. So we are thinking of ways to see how we can attract and get the private sector to get more support for the game, because that's the only way. No matter how much the government provides, it will never be enough, and a lot of times the money is not enough to go around. So what you hear from the ministry every time is there's no money. And if they say there's no money, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't make them produce it by magic. So we are looking for innovative ways to engage the private sector. We were able to achieve that to some extent. That was why you saw that our players were able to play competitions the last few years that made it possible for them to qualify for the Olympics. And if we could do it then, I strongly believe that we can do it again. And this time around, we'll even do it better so that they can attend more competitions. And maybe at this point, it will be very instructive to make a very passionate appeal to the private sector.
Please do.
I mean, where things are happening, I mean, it's not like the Federation has not achieved anything. In 12 years, we are not at the Olympics, and we are the last one. So what we want to do, we want to break the record. We've been doing Olympics every 12 years cycle. There's nothing that says we can't do it every 4 years. We can do it back to back. And that's going to be a function of funding, adequate funding, and exposing of these players to competition. So if the private sector can come in to be of assistance, then it will go a long way.
Yeah, I know Yemi will jump in. We have like about a minute to go on break, but let me just ask you this question. Yemi will stop you when he has to for us to go on a break. The national championships, we saw them also come back in the last 4 years. Since you said we should have our hands on our cheek as regards those big competitions, what about the national championships?
Yeah, they are definitely coming back. You know, back to back every year, we had those competitions for 3 years. And when the COVID came, We didn't have it. We didn't have them in 2020, and then of course last year, because we are gradually getting out of the situation. So this time around, we are coming. And actually, you've talked about the national championships, even the Lagos International, which is the flagship event for African badminton. Mm-hmm. We hope to bring it back this year, to come back bigger and better. The national championships definitely, in fact, what we want to do is to even see the possibility of having more, not just the few we were having in the previous years, so that we'll have a very busy calendar for our players.
All right, that's a good place to leave it. We hope that we'll be able to exhaust most of the things you want to talk about, and hopefully we'll get to do this some other time.
Definitely. Anytime you call on me.
All right. All right, we need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we'll make a switch. Kehinde Idris will be coming in, and we'll be talking about the Nigerian Professional Football League. And of course, be your eyes and your ears at the Etihad to let you know what's going on in the UEFA Champions League. First, we'll go on that break. We'll come back for more. All right, welcome back. We've made a switch. Kehinde Idris joins us now. Francis Obi has taken his leave. Kehinde Idris, thanks for finding time to be here, especially on a night like this.
Yes, feels happy to be here. And when I saw Francis Obi, I was starstruck, not because I spent time with him, but I love achievers. I love people who come in, against all odds and get to take it to the next level, hopping the ante. And Francis Obi has been that. I was reminiscing with him while we're waiting for the show to start, and we're talking about 2020, where at the height of the COVID, he was so up and down. I asked him then, is it that you were waiting for this period? He said, not like I waited, but I saw a period where everybody went to sleep. Football went to sleep, athletics went to sleep, basketball went to sleep. I needed to do something. And, everybody is now turning their eyes to badminton because it's active now. So I love the fact that I'm here today where Francis Obi was also here.
Okay. All right, let me go to London quickly. Also, we're struggling to catch up. The pace is fast, it's frantic. What's the situation report? It's 3-2, as I gather.
Yeah.
Vinicius Jr. scoring for Real Madrid. Mm-hmm. You can't blink.
Yeah, I mean, it was just right after I talked about the opening, analysis, when I was telling the viewers that it's Manchester City 2, Real Madrid 1. And then 3-1 at the time, Phil Foden with a beautiful header. The cross from Fernandinho was superb. And just when they were just trying to relax, a beautiful solo goal by Vinicius Jr. to make it 3-2. It's intense. Beautiful game of football. This is what nights like this are built for. The UEFA Champions League giving us reasons to talk sports tonight. Real Madrid and Manchester City playing a beautiful game of football. And I'm like, gracious goodness, this can go anywhere.
Yeah. Of course, again, I'm being taught a football lesson. I thought City would steamroll Real Madrid. And when it was 2-0, the Real Madrid fan among us here. So I was telling him, without mentioning his name, but you already know. And I was telling him, it's all over. It's all over. Only for me to see the results. And Kehinde Idris just reminded me as well, still very open.
Yeah, still very open. Well, we call it magical nights of the UEFA Champions League or club football in Europe. This is what we all always wait for. This is why it has risen to the point where no other club competition in the world can compete with the Champions League. The moment, like Ronaldo said, the moment the anthem pops up, we are the champions. Everybody feels differently inside of them. And whether it's Man City and Real Madrid tonight or tomorrow, Villarreal, Liverpool, magical nights will never cease in the UEFA Champions League. And the magic is still ongoing.
All right. Magic is still ongoing. Austin, one promise we can make to our viewers is no matter how important what we are discussing is, once a goal is scored at the Etihad, we're reverting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll tell them. City were so close with a goal, but Real Madrid lucky to have stopped that. But whatever happens to Real Madrid tonight, Yemi Kehinde, we must give him his respect. Karim Benzema is on fire. What a story he's telling in the UEFA Champions League. Real Madrid, they have scored 9 goals in the knockout phase of the UEFA Champions League. He has 8. of those 9.
Wow.
And they scored 13 so far in UEFA Champions League. Stand up for Karim Benzema, arguably the most player on form right now in European football.
Yeah,
Maybe world football.
No arguments. Karim Benzema. I only wish he was younger though, but better late than never. Good player, always been classy, and I've always respected him. Always played for his team. Always, give his contribution. And when Ronaldo left, he carried the load effortlessly. And because of him, and maybe Vinicius Junior, Real Madrid still in it. But then again, in a two-legged encounter where one team needs to outscore the other, I fear City. Because City can score. They can concede goals, but they can outscore you. So, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting.
We'll see. Football. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's football. Let's put a pause on that conversation. We'll come back to talk about the Nigeria Professional Football League. We saw a game played to the Nasarawa United. They needed to bounce back, and they did just that against Dakar, winning by a single goal. And Kehinde, before the result pops up on the table, Nasarawa United last season they were actually going for the title. Yep. What's wrong this season?
Probably teams go awakened. Also, the story of Aqua United might just remind you of how teams were, preparing, and maybe some teams were basking in the euphoria of what they did last season. Nasarawa, not only were they jostling for the top prize, or even being among the top guys, they were also one of those teams that played good football, gave teams a whole lot of problems, right there last season. But especially the first 15 games, Nasarawa were everywhere. Couldn't sort out themselves and all of that. Points were dropped home and away. And before they could realize, I'm seeing them realizing now and getting back their discipline, getting back their mojo. But when you drop points so well at the start, it's always hard to, get them back. If you check out the last 10 games with Nasarawa, way better than we saw in the last 15 when the league started. So I'm seeing a team that probably lived in what they did last season and felt to just get into this season not minding or not having it in mind that other teams are really, taking note of them. So we want to see how it goes. It's still a long haul, 32 points. And I'm looking at 32, which puts you in 12th. And right there, Kwara United in 6th is with 37 points. That tells you 5 points, that's 2 games, can change the whole scenario. So if you're talking about somebody in 12 today, and maybe after 2-3 weeks, you're talking about them in, top 6 and probably looking at the continental spaces. So it is what it is. The NPFL is so neatly, closely knitted, where maybe the numbers as in your position might not tell the entire story. When you go to points, that is where you might get the real picture of where, things really lie.
You'll see. Let's run through match day 25 results. Rivers United needed to get back to winning ways. They did. Same with Plateau United. We told you already that Nasarawa United defeated Dakar 1-0. Rivers United bounced back with a 3-0 win over Niger Tornadoes. Plateau United with the win story also defeated, how would I call them now? The impressive Remo Stars, 1-0. That one ended. Me prayed for this result, and it happened. Shooting Stars 2, Eimba 0. The Oluyole Warriors, they needed that win so badly, and doing it in front of their home fans was beautiful for club football for them. So, Wikitori 0, Heartland 0, and I thought that's a good one for Heartland. When you take a look at their situation, Aqua United defeated Lobby Stars for a single goal. Rangers, we fancy this result because it puts them in a good way to get back their campaign. Remember, they're still the team that has scored the most goals away in the NPFL this campaign. Gombe United, another team that has been quite impressive, defeated the struggling Katsina United by a single goal. So there you have it. Tomorrow, the NPFL will resume with more action when Kano Pillars, another team that needs to start winning, we will take on Sunshine Stars. But that's the table right there, Yemi. And if you take a look at the table, Kano Pillars more than ever need to win that game against Sunshine Stars.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this table. I can't agree more with Kehinde Idris. Just a win, a loss, and a draw. And maybe you are in 5th, you find yourself in 13th.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
But very interesting matches as we begin to move towards where in the business stage, where a lot of things could happen. So I'll be very interested. I'm looking at this table and I'm fascinated. Just looking at this table, I'm seeing what that victory has done for Shooting Stars, and I'm seeing what a couple of bad results could also do to some of the teams. And Kano Pillars MFM, I'm not a betting person, but I probably wouldn't have put my money on those two teams having this kind of struggles. Yeah. We've always talked about MFM being bad travelers, but not them sitting pretty at the bottom. And not Kano Pillars.
Not Kano Pillars.
Kano Pillars are the point where serial winners. Yep. In the Nigeria Professional Football League, we're winning those desert of Baba Ganaru.
What beats me really, Yemi, is the fact that we talked about this struggle in the first half of the season, the first 19 games, Kano Pillars and all of that, where they hardly had, on a stretch of 5 games, their coach being present, Salisu Yusuf, and while we ended the whole Nations Cup qualifiers, Salisu Yusuf has gotten another job in the super with the national team.
Okay. We promised the viewers we're going to revert, and that's it. Bernardo Silva has made it 4 for Manchester City. It is 4-2 now. This is a proper slug fest.
Yes.
And that's why we love football. 6 goals, still about 16 minutes of football to play. And trust me, we will see more.
Yeah,
we will see more.
I have that feel too.
And no one of these two teams can say we've done the job.
None. With what Real Madrid have done over the round of 16 and quarterfinal. I'm sure Man City. I was telling you before we also came on, when it was 2-1 at halftime, that Pep Guardiola would be furious with his team because
allowing them to
get a goal. We never even knew they would get a second because he knows what Real Madrid can do at the Bernabeu. Yes, you can say it's an open affair, outscore your opponent, which will help Real Madrid want to attack, and Man City can also attack. But we know how well they hold at their home, and it's a worrying one. None of those, even if Man City gets a 5th goal now, they will still be wary of what Real Madrid can do. Like I always say, even when there was a away goal rule, if you can go to any turf and do anything to any team, whether you're on the away ground or you're at home, remember that can also be done to you when you go back. Either you're going back to your home or you're going on the away turf. So it's the UEFA Champions League. Magic, surprises, lovely nights like this would always happen.
And Austin, I don't know if you agree, I always feel, and sometimes we're not allowed to give our opinion, but I've jumped the gun tonight. I always feel in any encounter that involves Manchester City and you take out a away goals rule and it's just the amount of goal you score, it's very hard currently for me to see a team that can outscore Man City. The times they've crashed out of the UEFA Champions League wasn't because they were outclassed by anybody. It was always because of this away goal rule. So if there's any team that the removal of the away goal rule suits, it's Manchester City. You remember the time they lost out to Spurs, the time they lost out to Monaco,
Leipzig.
In Leipzig, yes. All of those situations, away goals.
I know, Yemi, but for tonight, this is a magical night of football. What a story Manchester City and Real Madrid are telling us. 4-2, 6 goals already between both sides. Bernardo Silva played the advantage, beat his marker, and then boom, into the top right corner of the net to make it 4-2. Pep loved it, he celebrated. And with the way Manchester City they are playing, I totally agree with you. I mean, I tweeted that their pressing game can crack any team in the world. Pep has designed this play so good, and Manchester City, they are perfecting it every time they step on the pitch. There's one guy who is yet to score a goal. He's African. He's been pushing and pushing. Riyad Mahrez. I think he's going to get a goal tonight.
Yeah. Although I feel it's been wasteful. He's had 2 or 3 opportunities to score. That was a situation I thought he was going to square for Phil Foden. That easily could have made it 3. and probably could have nailed the coffin of Real Madrid. But you never can say. We keep monitoring, and if anything happens, we'll let our viewers know. That takes us into the UEFA Champions League, and football has taught us many lessons. You will be tempted to say Liverpool and Villarreal is going to Liverpool's way. We've learned our lessons. For Liverpool, in 5 seasons, 4 semi-finals. It's huge for the Reds. But let's quickly listen to, of course, let's show our viewers a confirmation of what's going to happen tomorrow, the fixture for the semi-final, and also listen to Jurgen Klopp. That's in Liverpool and Villarreal. It's going to happen tomorrow. We'll listen to Jurgen Klopp quickly and hear what he has to say about the game tomorrow.
We need to be on top of our game. I need to be on top of my game. So before the game and then during the game, the boys as well. So, but that's completely fine because it's semi-final, Champions League. If that would be easy, then something would be really completely wrong. And that's why I can't wait. There are moments where we will suffer tomorrow night, definitely. I know that now already, and that's what we have to be ready for. And there's no need for getting nervous or whatever. That's how it is. And but we can make them suffer as well, and that's what we have to do all together. So this advantage now, first at home, we have to use. I don't know which result we will get. Whichever result we will get, we will work with it and fight at Villarreal because it means everything to us to reach the Champions League final. They are still a really good football team who is obviously wants to make history as well. First time would be the first time that they would be part of the final, which is a massive thing for Villarreal, I can imagine. So, but it is for us the same importance. We wanna go there with all we have, and that's what we have to show tomorrow night.
They're a very good team. I think you've seen that over the performances, not only in the Champions League, some performances in the league, but the ones that stick out will probably be Juve and Bayern, which just shows the quality that they have. And they have a very experienced manager who's done a great job. So it'll be another really tough test, as any semi-final in the Champions League would be. And we need to be at 100% if we want to get anything from the game. Anfield's always special. European nights at Anfield are always incredible. But yes, hopefully that's the case again tomorrow night, which I'm sure it will be. But we need to perform to the levels we're capable of to get the crowd on them levels as well. You know, it's a two-way thing. But yeah, the crowd I'm sure will be there, and we need to make sure we're there as well, which I'm sure we will be.
Whoa, we love football. We love this game. Karim Benzema from the penalty spot scoring for Real Madrid, and it is 4-3, 9 minutes to the end of this game. I'm not sure we're going to be able to talk about any other thing. We have a lot of things planned, but this game, Austin, this game.
That's football, you know. I said this sort of night is made for good football. Karim Benzema confidently picked his spot, sent the goalkeeper the wrong way, ball went to the middle, made it Manchester City 4, Real Madrid 3. It tells you it's never over until it is over. In this sort of competition where you give your best game, you'll get into the final. Real Madrid, they will fight. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the way they've been advancing in this year's UEFA Champions League, you can tell that they will not go down without a fight, you know, and it makes the second leg everything to look out for, because Manchester City will go to Spain with everything that they have, and Real Madrid will also prove a point to them. So I love it. 4-3.
We're not done with the first leg. Austin is already in Spain. I think the remaining 8 minutes thereabout is even so much. Nobody can tell where pendulum will swing. And like a saying which emerged from South Africa, when you show up, you should also show off. I think that's what Karim Benzema with Real Madrid are doing. You can look at the scoreline and say Man City are leading, but this is the Etihad. This is the home of, this is where they want to flex all of the muscle that they've got, because you can't tell that you want to do that at the Bernabeu. So I think Real Madrid with Benzema are showing up and showing off really, and it's beautiful. See, let me enjoy these remaining minutes before we
get... Let's take a quick break before we forget. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back to wrap things up on the show. All right, we're on the home stretch, a few minutes before we get out of the studio, just a few minutes left, and a few minutes left at the ETN as well. But guys, let's quickly, a special mention for Giorgio Chiellini tonight on the show. The veteran defender will be calling it quits with the Italian national team. He has not told us he's retiring from Juventus, though. He says he will wait to the end of the season before he tells us that, but he wants to end it sometime in June when they face play friendly in England. But your thoughts, Austin? What a player! What a man! What a servant for the Azzurris.
That's the right word here, me. What a servant. He has really served this Italian team. You can remember how he led this team with Bonucci at the back for them to go on to win the Euros right here in the United Kingdom. And yeah, I've been saying we need to study what the Italians do to give us solid defenders with good lifespan. They play very well. And as they get older, they still, give us beautiful football. So I don't think Chiellini has anything to prove anymore. And as you said, I'm sure he'll still go on for a year or two with Juve. But what a career he has given to Italy. And I'm sure, Kende, you're wishing we should study this Italian defenders model and see ways that we can bring it into our football.
Exactly. That was spot on. I don't know how they get to do that. Generation after generation, you just find veteran Italians. They start from their mid-20s, and then you see them grow into that special. Even when their powers get to dwindle, the mindset is still there. And for Giorgio Chiellini, last Euros showed us that so many times for a defender, you don't need the steal. You just need the finesse that has to do with being sensible. And Giorgio has been beautiful. At the times where we've written him down, we felt, okay, probably Giorgio has gotten to the end. He just showed us that's a bend, not an end. But him, bowing out of international football, we say thank you to the entire football-loving family. Thank you, Giorgio Chiellini, for the times he gave us. All right, and just before we go, 40-year-old Roger Federer, the Swiss maestro, is announcing his return to tennis. He will be playing at the Swiss indoors in Basel. And the question everybody's asking, do you still see a Grand Slam in this man? Nadal has told us to shut up. We wrote him off, and he has done it times and times. But can Roger Federer do that for us? He's 40. It's going to be 41 this year. I doubt. So, I think the only thing we just want to see, we can't imagine that we've gotten to the point where we will enjoy Roger Federer again. So we just want to see him, swing the racket one more time. Just want to see this man, make us all keep our silence and watch him play. Roger, whether he wins a Grand Slam or not, what he had done, some people are still of the argument, whether he wins more or not, he's better than the rest who are in contention with him. That's an argument I wouldn't want to get into. The most beautiful world number one, the most beautiful world champion. Roger, we just want to watch you one more time. Yeah.
Yeah, and you never say never with Roger. And while you were speaking here, I was just wondering, we're just coming off Giorgio Chiellini, he's 37, and then we're talking about Roger Federer, he's 40, and I'm saying, is this still a young world? Where are the young guys?
Exactly.
These guys don't want to quit, they're forever young.
Yeah. All right, that's a good place to leave it. I wish we had more time, but we have to go. First, I want to thank Kade Idris for his time on the show.
It's good to
be here. We'll do this again some other time.
Of course. And we take the conversation
out of the studio, all right? Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your day. We enjoyed this. We could barely hold our breath. It was fun. We'll do this again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.
In London, I'm Austin Okonakwan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.